Hello everyone, I'm this guy, and welcome to 80 Days! I got this game as a gift from my brother, and I've been meaning to play it for a long time. And I'm glad I finally got to it. I've... it's... I'll let it explain itself. This is my first time playing it. The only thing I know is what I saw on Steam Store. So let's find out what 80 Days is about. London, 1872. I have entered into the service of a new gentleman. It would seem he is a gambling man. Oh, this is a pretty introduction. I like the music. America and Canada. 80 days. I'm guessing this is heavily played off the 80 Days Around the World. Based on the novel by, yep, Jules Verne. 80 Days Around the World. Probably getting the name wrong, but at least I know what I'm talking about. London. Okay. Begin. Bonjour. Excuse me. Monsieur just killed my throat for some reason. Where's my water? Here we go. 1 second, excuse me. Monsieur Phileas Fogg returned home early from the Reform Club, and in a new-fangled steam carriage besides. I helped him down, and the iron-lunged, steam-driven horses clattered away. Passepartout, said he, we are going around the world. Ah? Around the world, monsieur? I asked, utterly astonished. We shall circumnavigate. We shall circumnavigate the globe within 80 days. He was quite calm as he proposed this wild scheme. We leave for Paris on... Why is the word on so close to Paris? We leave for Paris on the 8:25 in an hour. But I have not prepared, I said wretchedly, quickly trying to organize a list of necessary items in my mind. Then do it now. Pack an altimeter and my evening jacket. There is not a moment to waste. You, Passepartout, now have funds. Your character is now steadfast. Okay, if you say so. New routes discovered. Quickly, Passepartout. Patout. Patout? Patout? Wow. I'm always going to pronounce this wrong. Collect our things, and we'll be off. I'm guessing this is, my master. Pack. What am I packing? There was just a moment to seize anything further that I thought might be useful for our long trip. He said the altimeter. We're going to need this. Ask the second one. Altimeter will be most reassuring. Part of the air traveler set. What are these? Hold on. I can look at them. You can always trust a man in a well-starched woolen shirt. Part of the Englishman's wardrobe. The cut is most dependable. The color most decidedly nondescript. Part of the Englishman's wardrobe set. I'm guessing this is the third part of the set. Yep. Oh, jeez. A deck fit two-leg guard suitable for a wrist. Whist? For a whist drive? Weist? I don't think I've ever heard that word before. Humor stalwart official and soldier types. European shipping timetable? We're going to Paris. I guess that would be useful. How many do I get a pack? He said the altimeter. The altimeter is important. I guess the wax cylinder. And the rest of my clothes? Oh, there's no room for anything else. So that's how this works, huh? The adventure itself shall be the entertainment, and I have no idea how this timetable is going to be useful. A completed Englishman's wardrobe should help us negotiate times of upper-class journeys. Interesting. So it's very choose-your-own course, it seems. What is this? What does this mean? Departs at... Oh, the train! Departs at 8. Paris. Amphitrite Express. 1 bag. No parts. How much is it? Oh my god. Oh my god. Is that Hawaii? Yep, that's Hawaii all the way out there. Brisbane. Why is there only one visible location on Australia? Oh boy. Round the world in 80 days. Truly a grand accomplishment back in the 1800s. Which is, I'm guessing, when this takes place. Current location. Oop. Depart. To Paris! We shall embark at 8. Wait, I thought he said 8:25. Departing now. The guard's van has space for 1 suitcase, which will suffice travel. This is a variable option. Oh, I guess that's supposed to be the quality of travel? Let us go to the Amphitrite Express. Oh, it actually was a metal horse. What? Did those exist back in the day? Mechanical horses raced past Piccadilly Circus and Pall Mall. Pall Mall? Faster than a team of thoroughbreds. Even so, the whistle of the 8:25 was blowing as we pulled up to the Charing Cross Station. "We have no tickets!" I exclaimed in horror. "That does not signify," Monsieur Fogg remarked over his shoulder as he hurried toward the platform. "You must not miss this train." I rushed after him, and we leapt aboard, just as another train whistle pierced the air. A guard raised his thick brows at us as we settled into a nearby compartment. He held out a hand. "Tickets, please." I pretended to have lost them, patting down one pocket and then the other. I was about to start digging through our suitcases when Monsieur Fogg interrupted my touching performance. "My valet is trying to express that we were in too much haste to purchase tickets," he said. Yeah. Which was not at all my meaning, and left me rather in doubt of my master's interpretive abilities. He was not a particularly theatrical man, it must be said. "You may purchase them from me," the guard was saying, "though it is more expensive, I'm afraid. £85, please." I argued with him, but only displeased Monsieur Fogg further. "Passport out, you will pay the sum at once," he put in coldly, "and remunerate this man for his patience." I handed over the £85, and smiled a thin smile from one working man to another. The guard gave me our tickets, and slid the compartment door shut behind him with a pneumatic hiss. "Your funds have gone down somewhat. Your relationship with Fogg has deteriorated." Man, this guy gave me an hour's notice to travel around the planet. Fuck him. "I am on fine form, but we must make haste." Let's converse. "I am at your service, Monsieur Fogg." "Ah, the bumbling passport out." Money. "This journey will be most expensive, monsieur." "Indeed, but we can earn a little from buying and selling our possessions as we travel." How about the journey itself? "But tell me, monsieur, what is the purpose of this journey? I have made a hefty wager, and I do not intend to lose." "Very good. This is stupid." London's smog gave way to rolling hills and the pastures of the Kentish countryside, still untouched by the hand of technological advancement. Monsieur Fogg read his paper whilst I repacked our bags, thrown together in haste and confusion. As afternoon turned inexorably to evening, I discovered that As afternoon turned inexorably to evening, I discovered that my master was one of those gentlemen who broke their silence rarely, if at all. A guard rapped on our door a few miles before Dover. "We are about to submerge," he warned. "Takes some people a bit funny, so watch out." "What do you mean, submerge?" I cried. "This is the London to Paris Amphitrite Express," he explained, as though to a particularly dim-witted child. "Oh, my apologies. This is the London to Paris Amphitrite Express," he explained, as though to a particularly dim-witted child. "The submersible train? Talk of all the London papers?" "Then this is the Mer train!" I exclaimed. He made a face. "Bloody journalists and their silly names," he muttered. "Every inch of her has been examined and stamped with the artificer's seal. This is the world's only bath-escape locomotive." I pressed my face to the window glass as the fins above the Amphitrite's wheels extended with a hydraulic hiss. Night fell, and we plunged past the end of the track into the freezing water of the English Channel. Relations with Fogg have improved slightly. Oh, well, that's good, I guess. That's creepy. Also, I think we should be on land by this point. Ah, there we go. The Amphitrite plowed through the water overnight and splashed up onto wider gauge French tracks at Calais as dawn broke. "Do you have a route in mind, monsieur?" I asked, as the water of the channel dried from the compartment windows. "I am as yet undecided," my master admitted. "The new canal has sped up the shipping route from Suez to Bombay, though perhaps we could take the Trans-Siberian Railway across Russia." Why are these both no's? What's wrong with either of them? 1800s. "Surely not Siberia!" I exclaimed. "It is so cold and grim, and I have a particular fear of bears." "Then we would do well to buy furs," he replied, refraining from rolling his eyes. "There are other alternatives. We may also travel overland and across the Black and Caspian seas." "But which is fastest?" "I believe," said he, "that is what we shall put to the test." Parbleu! I scarcely knew what to think. We arrived... Oh, it's okay. For a second I thought this was one of the options. We arrived at Paris Gare du Nord. I'm sure I butchered the gare, the second word. Just after 1 o'clock. Automaton porters lifted our luggage and then our persons onto the platform with long, delicately filigreed iron arms. Paris, city of my heart. I was home, but not to stay. You're right. Oh, that's probably what the shipping papers would have been useful for. Moscow, Moscow, Moscow. That shall be decided when the moment comes. For now, we are in Paris. To the market! Desmond tucked away in the 7th arrondissement is my favorite market street. Extra suitcase. A set of geometric drawing instruments precisely made and beautifully presented. Copenhagen, St. Budapest. Chateau de Quim wine. With 2 grand in Berlin. Berlin? That's back at London. No. Shaving kit. Out of the painting set. Gentleman Traveler. I don't know what the deal with these sets are. Pears, soap, badger bristle brush, and a heat-tempered blade. I could use a shaving kit. How do I sell things? I'll take the shaving kit. If I'm going to take another case, I might as well. The traveling cloak. Part of the gentleman travelers. I don't know. Chill winds, heavy rain. He did say we might need some cooler clothes. I don't like it. Close the luggage. Oh shit, there's an actual timer? Oh fuck. Fine, hotel. We'll pass the night here. I didn't know time kept going as I looked at stuff. I would have been faster. We took a hotel for the night. We will be comfortable here, Monsieur Fogg remarked, but traveling overnight will often be more efficient. So we must board the longest journeys available. Perhaps, he replied, the short answer indicating, I think, that one-day journeys might often be more flexible in their timing, and could allow for more connections. Still, the surrounds of the Hotel Ritz were most enjoyable. The clock is ticking, Passepartout. We must decide our next steps quickly. Then we shall explore new routes. 12. What? What? We had a few hours to spare. I asked Monsieur Fogg if I might enjoy my city before we had to leave. Indeed, and should you learn anything of note, be sure to relay it. I nodded and headed into town. The talk on the streets was of one thing only. An enormous, elegant oval stadium constructed upon the green fields of Champ de Mars and containing the technological marvels, arts, amusement parks, and milling crowds of the World's Fair of 1872. My city still wore the scars of last year's siege, as did I. Paris and France had surrendered to the Prussian army after 4.5 months of grim, blood-soaked resistance in the Franco-Prussian War. Now, this World's Fair was intended to reassure the country's citizens, and the world also, that the City of Light was still a great capital of the world. I did not doubt that. But perhaps there was something to be learned from my master inside. I earned an achievement, apparently. Oh dear. Oop. Oop. Bah. I did not doubt that. But perhaps there was something to be learned from my master inside, so I entered the grand illuminated pavilions of the exposition. An artificer was replacing an arc light which had burned out. She first disconnected the strange machine powering the lights. It had a spinning iron wheel which was wound around with a series of armature coils. What is that device, artificer? I asked politely, my eyes straying to the copper lily pin which proclaimed her profession. It's a bleeding nuisance is what it is, the artificer grumbled in a thick Yorkshire accent. These Gram machines are finicky beasts. Gram machines? I inquired. Well, it's a... Oh, never mind. She waved my question away. It's a steam engine, alright? Only it doesn't make steam. Will that do? I hate explaining this stuff to laymen. The harshness of her tone was jelly-bellied by her gentle touch as she unscrewed the arc light's globe of enameled glass and replaced the 2 carbon rods within. She reconnected the supply, and the 10 Yablokov? Yablotchkov? I'll say Yablotchkov. She reconnected the supply, and the 10 Yablotchkov candles, connected in series, lit up at once. Will all streets be lit with electricity soon? I asked. There are already a fair parcel of cities lit by electricity rather than gaslight, she retorted. London will probably be last, given old Queen Vicky's prejudice against the Artificers Guild. But Paris is modern, and we still use gaslight, I argued. The artificer eyed me sadly. Frenchy, are you? She sighed. Paris is nice enough, I suppose, but it's no Istanbul. Now there's a bleeding city. She looked at her pocket watch, cursed, and hurried off, dropping something as she went. I hurried after her to return it, and she thanked me. My medallion! I'll need that to get my lunch from the canteen. Thank you. I bowed in return, and she giggled. Stop that. You'll make me blush. She rubbed the coin thoughtfully. I was given this for my work in Istanbul, you know. I made a very special automaton. I think it works as a driver now, on the route up from Izmir. I think that's right. An automaton who can drive? Of course. Is that so strange? I could only shrug. Who knows what is normal in this modern world? The route up from Izmir. I'll keep that in mind. I looked about me once more. Avenues sprawled in every direction between the inviting, illuminated pavilions of the exposition. I went west towards the airship hangar, past a booth with a husband and wife pair selling panoramic hot air balloon rides to eager tourists. The hangar was crowded with airships and flying vehicles of all shapes and sizes, attended by sharp-eyed crews from all over the world, and my eye was immediately caught by the twin-bladed Peruvian gyrocopter, which looked tiny and flimsy in comparison with the airships surrounding it. They say the Incas invented the first gyrocopter, boasted the dark-haired pilot, pushing up her goggles to give me a wink. As their heirs, we Peruvians have made some few improvements. You do not see many Peruvian gyrocopters in the air, I remarked. Are they unsafe? The lady shook her head. No, they are quite safe, but they are quite hard to build. Perhaps one day soon, Monsieur Fogg and I would find ourselves flying in such a craft. I returned to the exposition center, my thoughts turning with clouds and engine rotors. Crowds of tourists jostled and heaved past, their eyes wide with wonder. I took a stroll down the Avenue of Nation. Oh, there was more. Whoops. I took a stroll down the Avenue of Nations, lined with buildings in the styles of the nations of the world, and manned by foreign delegates in national dress. Although the newly formed German Empire was a... Oh! Oh, whoops. By foreign delegates in a national dress. Conspicuous absentee. Yeah, you know what, I'll go with that. The newly formed German Empire was a conspicuous absentee in the city it had so recently conquered. The Austro-Hungarian delegation was being harangued by an artificer who looked to me like a farm boy from Provence. The artificer was pointing at one of the soldiers guarding the doorway and shouting in terrible German. Verboten! Verboten! What is the matter here? I asked the artificer, and he rounded on me. These Austro-Hungarians! These Austro-Hungarians! He raged in peasant-accented French. How dare they! I have no idea what that accent would be, so I'm just going to keep reading. What do they dare? The artificer pointed. That! The soldier by the stand moved suddenly, with a mechanical judder, and I realized he was no man at all, but rather an automaton, with an enamel-painted uniform and pewter face. The artificer cursed. These Austro-Hungarians have brought their automata soldiers to Paris, even though war machines are expressly forbidden by the guild. Who knows what danger they might represent? I turned away hurriedly. My feet were tiring, and the hour was growing late. I returned to Monsieur Fogg, who was eating a meal of plain boiled beef à l'anglaise. Did you enjoy the exposition? My master inquired diffidently. And I nodded. Will we travel by airship, do you suppose? I asked. I think it highly likely, he replied. They are expensive, but extremely fast. I dreamed that night of mechanical wonders and automatons with beautifully enameled faces, knowing little of the strange inventions and stranger peoples I would soon encounter in my journey around the world. Your character is now dependable. And I think I will leave it at that for another day. I hope you everyone enjoyed. This has been... Oh dear, what have I clicked? What have I clicked? Oh. I hope you've all been enjoying this so far. This is 80 Days. I'm this guy, signing off.